So, okay.
Oh wait, hold on. I didn't even start the timer. All right, you ready?
All right, I guess so. Yeah. All right. So, okay. So now we are going to do our episode on gratitude.
Hello all. No, that's stupid. Whatever. Okay, so what is it? Second episode, gratitude. We're trying to be what's that? Last episode, if you saw it, a little bit chaotic, a little all over the place, just getting our feet wet. But now we're back today. What is that? What is it? Gratitude is the subject of
Yes,
today?
and it's still probably going to be chaotic, so that's fine. But
Name
just
it-
a little bit more, hopefully a little more structure this time around.
Name of the game.
Yes, but
Kick it off.
Yep.
Come on.
Kick it off. Oh, you want a
Mimosas.
toast? Okay.
Woo!
All right, here we go.
Very good. All right.
All right, so I don't know. This episode, I guess I think it's so gratitude. I guess how that also maybe plays in with acceptance as well. Maybe kind of overall idea with that.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So, but anyway, I guess the main thing is what does gratitude mean to you?
I want you to start with this one. Can I go more versed in?
Oh, so now you're gonna need to know my opinion on it before you make yours, huh?
Well, no, but like you, what's that? I feel like you study this or make it a more of a mission than I should, but I need to practice more.
I don't know. Because there's interesting. I've watched some interviewer one time a couple years back. I don't know. I get into like all different kind of interesting. I don't know, like I go through all sorts of different topics and like how they relate to each other. Like maybe I listen to, so like there's this guy Joe Dispenza I listened to a couple of times, and he brought that up as how like there's some interesting thing about how when you are grateful for something, sometimes that simply being grateful for having can bring you more having. Just by I think it's about carrying that energy though.
Repeat that again, because
when you don't lack something, when you're not in a state of lacking, it's more likely to bring things to you, more things. So like that's why like even things like. So there's many different topics we can go on that. There's many different rabbit holes of what that could look like.
Yeah.
Because how I'm trying to explain where my mind goes with that, because let's say money, for instance, like if you're, so like, it's like let's say you always could want more money, but, or you can look at it as like, oh, I'm grateful for the money I have the money, you use it from a position of like wealth or like not wealth or just a position of not lacking, like use it like, whether they're blessed other people with or things like that. And stuff like that can sometimes find its karmic way back
coming
to you.
from the mindset of I already have, therefore, or like, what's that? I guess acting as if you already have?
Yeah, acting as if you already have.
Okay.
So, and you can do it with a lot of things.
Because I would say, like, I'm glad you said it, because, like, whenever you're asking about my definition, mine's like accept, or like, what's that? Appreciating what you have in the moment.
Yes, that's kind of is it. That is it too. That is also gratitude. Is that too? It is mostly that. Like it's that.
Well, I like that, but I like your projection for the future as well with that one. So like acting as if the future's already here, and like that's the ideal I have already in mind.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like acting as if pretty much at the future. Well, people can look at it like that, but still, it's really interesting about that because you can think like that. But the thing is, it's interesting. Like I think it's more like it tends to bring that more to you. Not necessarily. I don't think it's something that you should be looking for. That like the more things, because then it starts bringing you back to a state of like lacking certain things. Kind of, or maybe you can still search or reach things. How I view it, but. And you can still desire things.
But like that brings up to like I guess my thought is like yes you're still projecting but still being appreciative
of what you have right inside.
Right.
Yes.
Because what is that? You don't want to stay focused too much on the future because that causes anxiety and like I don't know keeping grounded and present.
So yeah, for me it's like gratitude is just but like it's pretty simple. Like what it means is just a state of already having, like putting a state of like abundance and just appreciation for the things you have, even the circumstances, and I think what we'll go through and like later in this is like
What about if you don't? Like
yeah,
if it's a
what like
suckiness.
things are sucky,
Yes.
you know. What does that look like, and maybe like how you can still be grateful for those things too.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you kind of give your answer, or what do you want to give?
That
out
was
yours?
kind of my answer because, like I said, I don't focus near enough on this crucial. Even in therapy, like we often
Right.
say, like what's at least some of the good little things, like you're trying to ground you in the here and now to appreciate your circumstance for what it is, and appreciate the few, like as little as there are, the few little good things
Right.
as there are. And I look at that from like whenever I talk about that nihilistic optimistic, like I have a little hope now.
Yeah.
Even though trying to be realistic at the same time, but there's still something I'm having to work on at least. So
Well, because I know for me, it's easy to get caught up like in thinking when I think about gratitude, and it's like that one. I don't. For me, it's that one's always the safe one to come back to whenever I'm getting anxious. For me, like for anything, whether it's like thinking about future goals or things that like be nice, you know, it's like, or like maybe it's like, you know, people or family in your life doing certain things and you're not quite, or you know, and you're not. Maybe there's negative experience going on with like, you know, like whether it's friends or family in your life or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where like, oh, I don't know, that's an interesting. I have to think about that a little more because it's like, yeah, because
we can come back to
yeah,
that.
That's kind of moving a little bit more down how I'm thinking about that. That's why I'm kind of holding up on that.
We'll figure that one out later.
Yes.
So what's our next topic?
So, well, it's just like,
Oh, gratitude and acceptance. How does that marry together? You have like the way I look at that one is like you have gratitude because you accept the here and now for what it is, but the gratitude part comes in that bit of optimism, I guess, in the acceptance piece. So like you're talking about, like I already have. It's not I don't have and I'm striving for it.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of it as an example. Like I'm trying to see if I can put together an example. You know how that look.
I feel like they work in tandem together.
Well, a lot of these will. I think. Yeah, so acceptance.
Like I accept the reality that I'm in
right now.
But it's not. What's that? It only has to be as, like, I guess, sucky or as great as you make it.
Yes, and I think also I think maybe when I was thinking about this topic, I was thinking also the overall theme of even our podcast too. It's like how does what gratitude can play into that as well? It's like, well, it's like okay, well because it's a very important part.
Yes.
It's just one of the because we have different like things we want to go into when it comes to acceptance and gratitude. I feel is a very big pillar of that, and so like
which is good for your overall health and being and mental state as well.
Yes, because like I don't know, I think your mother gave some examples of how it makes her feel and stuff like that too.
We could have her on that. I just want to listen to y'all go back and forth on that one because I remember in the car ride over here, we're talking about that and I was like, oh wow, that's a pretty good observation. Or like, it's just not things I think of. I think because I'm a little more cynical or pessimistic by nature.
I think it is also like it's like you may mention it, and then this is where my squirrel brain will go all over the place and be like, okay, wait, you may have mentioned this, but you know, my mind's still going 100 mile an hour too, but oh jeez, now
press the brakes.
Press the brakes. Yes, here it is. It's catching up to me now.
All right.
Oh, but okay. Go back to talk about your mother though, real quick.
What?
You said you talk about.
Oh, it's just y'all's conversation together and like how y'all were. What was it? I don't know. It seems so optimistic and like so.
I think it's a good way to ground yourself too.
Very.
I think you may have mentioned that, but it is.
Yeah, from a therapist.
Yeah, it's a grounding. It's like it comes back and takes you back into the present.
Yes.
Takes you in the moment, and yeah. So. And I'm trying to think. Cause like, I don't know. I just think the reason why I think it's an interesting topic is because, and the reason I brought up the thing in the beginning about is because I just noticed some. Sometimes I think this is why the Joe Dispenza thing was interesting because he said some interesting things like synchronicities and things like stuff. And I do start to notice how things in my life just like weird circumstances just kind of
I feel like that's because you
Sure.
opened your scope of what you're willing to accept
Yeah,
and
that's probably
see.
is you. So you do it. So when you do it, you see something maybe that you wouldn't have saw before.
Exactly, because we can only gather so much data and what I can't imagine all the stuff I'm actually missing just even in the here and now that's blocked
'Cause
off
now,
because
like,
it's not a focus.
Yeah, imagine like you're out in public somewhere and it's like you maybe thinking about some traumatic event that's going on or
Yep.
something like that, and you come back to like a state of like, everything's good, life's a miracle.
Right,
We're
I just saw
here.
somebody feed a homeless guy,
Yeah,
and
and
it's like, what?
it's like, or
It is
like,
good left in this world.
like yesterday, I was like walking to Target and I was like, just and I see some people, someone's out there, and I don't know, just some kind of mood, just like I don't know what it is. I'm just like, oh, that's so sweet. This old lady just sitting here, just I don't know what to go and do, but I hope she's doing good. Feel grateful for her and whatever, just
I'm
like
saying, just to like
appreciate
grateful for like existence. of
existence.
certain people.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. There's like this whole thing. It's like I don't know. I heard someone.
This is where I get cynical, the nihilistic, and I'm saying grateful for existence. But I already told you like how I feel about life in general. It's
Yes,
like,
well,
maybe
also-
I should be a little more grateful, even though I'm
maybe
like,
it's because I also hear like thing talks about like some meditations you do like some of the things is just like come up in them. Like, one of the guys I do listen to is he brings up like this one it really hits me deep whenever it's like life is a miracle, everything's a miracle. When you think through things that lens.
Cause it's ridiculous that anything actually works or moves forward. Like, why?
So when I
There's
start looking through things like that lens, it's like, okay, I feel like a little bit more like, you know what? There's a lot of things to be grateful because like things can seem like a miracle. Things can just like things.
Speaking of that, what was it?
Like,
I was watching this. What was it? It was, I can't remember. But it was going down the RNA. I think this little nuclei. I can't remember what it is, but it was dragging this chemical across the strands of it. It was like that's happiness, or like the chemical formula, like dragging it along. It's like that little buddy's moving and going.
Wow.
Like, why? Like I was just thinking of like, oh, now that you mentioned that, like that gratitude for existence, I'm like, yeah, why is that little thing or like that little piece that's like on the microscopic level? It's just working.
Right.
Like,
yes, like, well, also there's many more things about because stress.
oh god.
That's actually one that's not. I'm not probably I think it'd be good to talk about because stress, it can make you sick on its own.
Well, we're gonna talk about that in like the negative section,
Okay.
or at least last thing.
We can do that. Yeah, we can do it.
What's the next topic?
Because the next one was love and gratitude. This one you might be a little more because you
Did I
talk
put
about
that
love.
one, or did you put that one in there?
I think maybe that, or maybe like mention something, or maybe I was playing on something.
I think
and,
so.
I know
What
I
were we
put
talking
that.
about yesterday too?
Well, like this one, it was in there, but I think maybe like a week or so ago we were discussing. Like it was when I was making the cards and then the topics, and that's kind of where.
Well, no, but like love is. We would have to try to discuss that here because I was telling you like yesterday, like, oh, I want to talk on the subject of love, but there's so many.
Oh, well, that's a totally different
facets.
subject. I think when I was thinking about it, it's maybe like how it's almost just as important as like a love situation. Like it's very powerful state of being.
Yes.
And because it is also another form because it is loving and like acceptance and you can be grateful for well, I don't know, but gratitude.
Yeah, but your gratitude is like, I think it comes from the things you love or value.
Right. So like whether it's like you have people in your life that say you love, it's like you just like
I'm grateful that
you're
they
grateful,
exist.
Grateful they exist. Yes, and like whether or not like the circumstances are perfect with them or not.
No, and
just
that's like that's the acceptance piece of like we're all flawed and we're all human. Not saying to like what's that? Not saying to ignore all of the like tragedies or like the other really. I don't know. I keep on using the term sucky, but like all the negative aspects.
Right.
No, you shouldn't be blind to that, but like I wouldn't say castigate or hate the person for their existence and all of that. Now, that's. I feel like that's or like saying that's very weighted because what is it? Whereas I might be able to accept certain things. I still wonder to like at what point do you keep accepting for the sake of like is it maturity, is it blindness, or is it
Keep accepting like negative experiences from that person or whatever.
right? I'm like
I think that's where it might like this might go into this subject here. I think I'm gonna swap these two around.
well, I think what trips me up is like love at the end of the day. So it's like but also I differentiate. Maybe that's like my Christian sense coming in, but like I differentiate like I love the person, but not what they do.
Yes. And that's also where like I think so like when it's hard to feel like grateful and things like that. I think we can even talk about that now a little bit. I think, and we kind of combine them, I guess. The love and
Well, yeah, we can do that second one last.
Yeah.
Or the second to last one last.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
But-
you lead off on that one.
Well, so like your point was like let's say like boundaries or like think how like when do you accept or how far do you accept situations.
I think that's all personal.
And this is where I think like boundaries are okay. And this is where boundaries can't happen. You can still love someone with boundaries.
Yes.
And you can still love people with boundaries, and you can still also be grateful for them in your life.
Yes.
Because they may be teaching you something
Yes.
that you don't know. And so like maybe it's a hard lesson.
But that lesson makes you so much better if you're willing to accept that part and move on.
Yes, and you can still accept it, or you may not. You may accept the lesson. Maybe you learn something that maybe something you still feel hard. Maybe you still have to separate yourself from that person, but you can still love them.
Exactly. That's my point. Like, no matter what anybody does to me, I love them as an individual and a human being. Why? Because I'm probably just as shitty as they are.
Yes. And yeah, so that's going to be an interesting. Like that's just why I wanted.
We have to go back into the subject. We need to add that as one of our bullet points
for the loved one.
Yes.
Yes.
Man, there's gonna be so many topics.
So I'm thinking about that because I think that one's going to be interesting. I think there's going to be like that, maybe like self-love stuff on that. I think that's a big topic. Then I think that should be part of it.
That's an extensive one for that.
Maybe it's its own card too. But.
Oh, it is. God damn.
I think when I think of love, also I do think it's also like I'm starting like when I was thinking about how do you be loved. Like one time I was thinking about how do you become like the state of love. And I feel like there's like different like pillars you add, and I think gratitude is one of the pillars. And I think things like acceptance is another pillar in there.
We're gonna have to come back. Ooh,
and stuff like that.
Here, write that down. Pillar idea, or like pillars of love. Write it down.
Pillars of love. Okay, we'll write it down. All right, cool. We'll put in that one.
Yeah, there we go.
Because that's how I view it. Like whenever I'm one of those crazy people that do things like affirmations and stuff, and so like
not crazy.
But it's like when I think of, I was doing ones for a while, like where it's like I am love and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes like just that affirmation alone isn't enough, and I feel like I need to change it up.
Mean?
So then I start breaking it down. Well, then I am grateful. I'm also accepting. There are different days where I'm patient. I am this. I am the. And you just kind of go on the list.
Well, and like that's what I love. What was it, Corinthians? Even for you non-religious people out there, and in my weird state of. Religion, but whatever. But that verse with like, what is love? I guess love is patient, love is kind, love is not. I think that is a beautiful representation of, or like the defining, or the parameters of like what love is.
Yeah. So, So I think that's how I look because it's like to me it's like love. This is where like I was starting to battle like, well, is gratitude really up there with love? Because like starting to think about it. I think because it starts to, I'm starting to look at it as more like a pillar of it rather than like, because like sometimes it's just hard to encompass with love. It's like sometimes I know for me, it's like
love is a crazy complicated. Okay, let's move on before we fall down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, we're about to go down a love rabbit hole already, but maybe we should do that topic.
No, we gotta start somewhere.
Yes.
Let's see. How to love when it.
When it's difficult. Yeah, when it's difficult.
When it's difficult. Yeah.
Yes. So, but yeah, I think my side was like how. It's like, yeah, let's say you have, like, you're in a relationship with someone, maybe, like, I had someone that's, like, I had a difficult situation where, like, I live with an ex and a toxic situation there, and it's just, yeah, could I be, did I get out of the situation? Yeah, of course. Did I have my negative moments out of it? Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the person I was before that was a very different person than I am now. And I am grateful for the lesson because it actually teaches me, to actually, like, I always, teaching me a little bit more, like, how to also be a little bit more, teach me how to learn on a different level, too, because it still got to stretch, like, how much can I love this person but also, you know,
how much you love yourself.
yes, but I'm grateful. But this is where it comes out. Like great gratitude part of this is where it's like I am grateful for it because I got to learn those things, and I got to learn, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like negative interactions and negative experiences. Also,
not to belittle them either.
Mm-mm.
Like, I think an often point is like we don't. Sometimes it's harder to acknowledge how crappy something really is. Even though, yes, okay, like I don't want to diminish the fact that that crappy thing happened. It did happen. I'm so grateful for all the lessons, but like I wouldn't say completely like absolve the situation.
Right.
But that's something like that. What's that? You start to forgive within yourself, and over time. Oh, forgiveness is one of our other topics. But starting to let go of what's that? You can still acknowledge it as a crappy situation, but you don't let it hold on to you and define your path moving forward.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to go for.
Yeah. And also, like, well, also, and also, I think and also being able to do that, I think that also helps make it. It is also helps you. Let's see. I find acceptance to be easier too, when you can look at it through that lens as well, because a lot of times, some of those lessons I learned also you can kind of see them sometimes even within yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the struggling things and sometimes it's easy to be like pushed out where it's like no this is I would never do this, and maybe you wouldn't, but like the fact that sometimes you can like I can acknowledge that maybe I have some like similar emotions or similar thoughts or I could see myself in a similar situation.
I think we all should feel that. Or okay, that one. Okay, I think we all should take a step back and like whether that is a possibility or not. We're all human at the end of the day, so you can't be completely definite about something. So like a little empathy, looking through the other person. Like I don't see myself in this moment in time as exactly doing that, but I still have no clue what the future looks like. So therefore.
Yeah.
A little compassion.
Yes, because you don't know, like maybe there's something that maybe get into a situation where it might bring out a side of you that you've never seen before.
Ooh, and with that being said, let's get on the subject of like money, I guess. When you don't have
things like okay.
Because like that's a big contributor, especially in our society, and like we live in a capitalistic society. Money and success like driving force of like how anything works or goes. So
how to be grateful with like lack of money and things like that.
Cause I think what's it? As all lovey-dovey and philosophically we like to get like there's also what about the practical aspect of that? Like you need money to do shit.
This is one where actually I sort of like if you try to come out from a logical perspective, it's hard.
Oh no! I'm not saying be completely. There are logical steps you can do.
You can do,
but I don't think it has to be completely logical. It's that reframing of the mind.
Cool, because
like if but the only reason I'm saying that is because like if you're poor and don't like trying to make ends meet or barely even that like talking about this like that's not helping anybody. Like what's a practical what's something to actually help?
Right, and in that situation, that is actually where a self-love thing will really be kind of more a better topic for like that kind of situation, you know?
Yeah, but like.
But what I mean that it's like well, it's like you can't be as generous because you got to take care of. I'm coming from.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Because how I'm coming from is like if you're grateful for what you sometimes it's easy to like it's.
I'm talking about. I think that's the difference. So I'm thinking of the framework of somebody who's single parent, got kids, like. How are you gonna tell that to them? Like,
are you gonna tell them like that you don't have?
Well, like, what's something they can use or do for themselves in those moments whenever things are getting hard? They need a little reframe. That also goes into like that second last bullet point or whatever. Like,
well, that one does. Yeah, I see that one. I like ways to how you get through. Like how do you become grateful? How do you express gratitude in that situation?
Yeah, how would you express that?
I think that one is actually one where you might have to
I'm thinking
reframe.
Yes.
Like maybe frame it, not even like reframe it with like the money, reframe it even away from that actually. Like I would almost have to take, because I know in my mind I would have to reframe it to, okay, besides the money, what do I have? I have kids,
my children.
I do still have food, so I able to feed them.
I think maybe I'm catastrophizing to the worst possible outcome, but like.
Okay.
Oh, gratitude. Even okay. Even if it comes to like food or whatever, there are services. Like I'm grateful in this country, granted it's America, but I'm grateful that there are programs out there that if you actually need it, and not always. I hate saying it, but like a little humility, but you can still find other ways.
I think this is where this will get down to where it's like, again, this is where like the logical side, it's hard to argue for logical side on it, but it's like, at least from my perspective, that how little I know about that from that perspective. I know there's probably people that have more well-versed ideas of how it actually impacts. I think it's because, in my opinion, I think it's because of how, when you're in that state, like even if you're in your bad, it also it changes the way how you can interact with other people around you.
It does.
And if someone's coming to you, like let's say like you need help though, but you're like you don't come into a needy situation. You're not there being needy. You know, or where you come from a place of need where people can feel that need off of you, people. I feel like people are more likely to be generous when they're the one, like they're not feeling like they have to do this.
Yes, not guilting somebody. Yeah, that's like not having guilt for that. It's just the unfortunate circumstances of society.
Yeah.
Or not even that, but like just being human in general. Yes. We don't make always the best decisions.
Yes, and some people are really good about like acknowledge it, and they still will do it regardless if they see that need and they'll fill it or step up.
But that's why that's why like in situations like that, like rely on your religious pillars, I guess. So like.
Yes, that one would be a good word.
Because what is it? I think it was something like, who are the most generous? Whether you're Christian or not, or any other religion. I said like grain of salt because my opinions on all that, but they have proven the most generous of people come from those areas of life.
And I think in those situations, I think you do get to practice a little bit more of that just by being a part of that community.
And that's another thing, community. The issue is people like to isolate themselves.
Right.
Which is not bad if you're an introvert, but like don't isolate yourself completely to where you don't have a support structure.
Yes.
You introvert, including me, but like you need that structure so you don't feel lonely, isolated, and then feel like you're all helpless. Because that's whenever you become needy and desperate, like.
Yeah.
Just because you're struggling, don't push people away.
Yes, because that's the one thing that sucks. About when you feel desperate, like as much as like it would be nice, like people to get help and stuff. Like for some reasons, I don't know what it is. I just noticed this thing. It's like it's in humans and stuff. It's just like when they get that, they start to feel that energy and they want to run away from it.
Yes.
Like no matter the topic of it, like no matter what's money or anything, it's like so. But it's like if they want to be, but if you're just a great person, a great generous person, they're able to be, or just like happy. You bring something to the table, regardless of that. It may not be money, maybe something else you're bringing to the table. Maybe it's some sort of like, Yavisko or whatever. Who knows? Or just maybe you're just a nice person and they like talking and hanging around with you. So then it's like
it's always the little things.
Yes, little things. So then that's where, acting from a place of like wealth or not wealth or abundance, you still act from it even if you not you're just placed mentally like from the money side, but you're still able to hold that energy and then people are more like you can still be vulnerable that way. You can still be vulnerable with them, but you don't have to do it in a needy way, I guess.
That's no.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're on this, let's talk about practicum. Like, how do we practice this?
So
how do we apply it to our lives and some frameworks?
There's been different ways. I think depending on where you come from. I grew up in a Christian background, so I do done prayer.
Prayer.
That one praying, pray and like I know in the Bible it says pray in a way that you've already have.
Yes.
And that's a way of expressing gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
It's like already having, I have my kids, I have, my friends, I have a place to live.
Well, and that's the thing. Even without the Christian aspect, just appreciating the small little bits of good in life, whether they even directly pertain to you or not.
Yeah.
Sometimes just even watching it expressed outwardly is.
And then like when it comes to like I do maybe in meditation sometimes just like I think in that way it's like also like just your it's like being able to be this when you're able to just kind of come in and ground yourself just like what you have you actually almost comes down to where you what you have is this body.
Yes.
Sometimes that's all you may have that you do at least have that at the end of the day. And it's like
well, but like what's that? I think I was talking to a sports psychologist about this, but what was it? If you just sit down, humble yourself, but don't be too humble that you disregard yourself. But like write down a few of your best qualities, and just say those out loud. Be grateful that you have something to give to that you are something worth like. Get out of your head and start thinking about the little things that you do daily. Like, I'm kind, I'm generous, I'm loving, I'm caring, I'm dependable, I'm, all these like good adjectives. Maybe like 5 of them. Write them down and just say them to yourself and be grateful about yourself, I guess. And that's part of the self-love, but like still gratitude tied into that, like.
Yes, and like I like that. And it's like sometimes some of those things I know sometimes I'll say certain ones where like I want these qualities, but something inside me is like resisting me even saying I have.
Well, then like you act as if you already have them.
You can't, or that's where you do. That's where you do gotta start challenging your belief system. That's whenever I started hearing about the what if I am actually, what if I do have this, or what if I am kind, or what if I am.
Challenge yourself.
Yes, like, what if I am actually kind? What if I am actually this? Or what if I am that?
Yeah.
Like,
what's that?
But there's other ways. Like, so like, even if you're not like, well, I was thinking another one I was thinking, even if you're not like really just like, and you don't like meditation stuff, I think it's valuable to even like, that's why I do think journaling is another one, a good one.
Yeah.
Because you can write out good things that happen in a day, or
exactly.
like, even the negative stuff. Sometimes actually it's a good way to get rid of negative stuff. You write it out and it's like, now
or you can always reframe the negative stuff.
I do like that.
What did I miss in the sense of like, what did I miss in a good sense, or what did I avoid, or this sucky thing happened, or this crappy thing happened, but like, what could it have been? What could it have like?
And I like that. That's actually kind of like one of those topics I've been kind of reaching more into, like a revisioning in a way. It's like you go back and you're like, okay,
rewrite the narrative.
You rewrite it. Like you don't actually like you don't deny that it happened. Really.
No, don't.
But that'd be delusional.
Very.
But you can think of it like maybe what maybe like the energy around it. Like just maybe change the energy around it. Maybe like, okay, well this happened, but does that change how I feel about the situation or not, or this person or this, or it's like it doesn't things like that. It's like just change the energy around. Maybe be grateful about it because maybe you learned something out of it. Yeah.
Well, with that being said, we're gonna wrap it up here. We are going to post on YouTube, so if you do, please, I don't care if you like, subscribe, whatever, but what I want is, if you could, in the comment section, what does gratitude mean to you? How do you define it? And what's some ways you like to practice it? Yes. And maybe we're missing something, so like if there's anything you felt like we missed or didn't go over, there's always future videos and future sessions, so love to. And
also, speaking of gratitude, I'd be grateful for any feedback, if anybody has feedback, and like,
any practical feedback.
Anything. It doesn't matter. You can even just whatever. Like we'll work with whatever you give us. So
I'm grateful that all you viewers out there, I hope you learned something. We're still learning, so just grateful.
Yeah.
Having a good time. So talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.